Hello and welcome back to another session of Therapy and Panels. For today's session, we're going to be looking at an interesting take on a toy that was licensed by Marvel Comics to make a story around it. Created by Scott Dinkman, Richard C. Levi, and Brian L. McCoy as a toy sold to Parker Brothers as the start of something new for them at the time, only doing board games until then, and electronic toys were becoming a thing, so they invested in ROM Spaceknight. I was going to try and get the toy to see how well it was, but yeah, not happening. So instead we will be looking at the comic by Marvel Comics to help build interest in the toy. So let's see how well they do this story as we take a look at the first issue of ROM Spaceknight. The cover builds interest with Rom in the center, with all these civilians running either away from him or something else that he is preparing to fire at will. I'm not sure. We begin the story with a comet falling down onto Earth to reveal it is none other than Rom himself stepping out of the crash site. Sorry. Had a few too many. Should have listened and not drink and fly at the same time. He steps onto the highway, nearly hit by a car, which he stops with his bare hands and notices the lady driving the vehicle. He pulls out what looks to be a laser and fires at the poor woman, only to see that she is unharmed. Well, I wouldn't say unharmed. Let's just say, hope you weren't planning on having children. Much to the woman's confusion, Rom just flies off and leaves her alone. We cut to a small town called Clairton in West Virginia, as it seems Rom has arrived, much to the terror of the citizens. Rom brings out the laser weapon again as we see two guys apparently aware of him, declaring they will be revealed as the weapon fires, only this time the two guys are gone. As everyone else flees in terror, Rom notices the woman from before, named Brandy Clark, and takes her away somewhere. We then see the mayor trying to get help for the giant robot attack, but keeps getting laughed at. This takes place in the Marvel Universe. What's so silly about a giant robot attacking the place? Though it seems while the mayor is having trouble getting help, a group of townspeople are having a less difficult time, it seems. Hello, operator? Give me Gizmo Duck. No, it seems these people got a hold of General Andrews in Washington, as they all seem to be aware of Rom, and he agrees to bring the National Guard, with some of them being a group of them in the mix. We cut to the middle of the field Rom and Brandy are at, and he finally decides to explain to her what is happening. Ron comes from a peaceful planet called Galador that for the past 200 years would travel the cosmos helping other civilians until one day they entered into the Dark Nebula and were attacked by the Dire Wraiths. They destroyed the entire fleet, but not before the Galadorians could send a message back home. The prime director of the planet was left with no other choice and called out for volunteers to help fight off the evil, but warned they would lose their humanity if they do. Rom was one of many who volunteered, each one becoming a cyborg with special plated armor and weapons known as a neutralizer and an analyzer. So for the past 200 years, Rom has been searching for any Dire Wraiths out in the universe. Brandy is confused due to Rom killing people she knew her whole life, but Rom explains that they were Dire Wraiths who possessed the ability to shapeshift, and his weapons confirmed it, and instead of killing them, they are sent to a limbo dimension. Rom learns through Brandy that because of his sensors, he is the only one to see the Dire Wraiths in their true form, so to the rest of the people, it appears he just killed two human beings. The National Guard arrived to their location and attack Rom, but seemed to do little damage to them, until one of the men fired a weapon, revealing to Rom that they are a Dire Wraith, which he quickly deals with. The rest of the army retreats, and Rom saves Brandy from a group of Dire Wraiths, using her as hostage, before heading off to find more on the planet as the issue ends. And that is the first issue of ROM Spaceknight, and for my final diagnosis, this is a very good beginning. It uses the toy and its accessories well, and the plot of defeating the Dire Wraiths is a fun and unique take on fighting monsters, and as the series goes on, we can learn more and see how Rom handles not having his humanity. It's a very clever way for a toy that barely even had anything going on with it. And with that, that is the end of today's session. I'd like to thank you all for attending. If you liked the video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I am the Super Guru, signing off.